to another episode of Film Fetish. As usual, I'm your host, CJ, and today's going to be a weird special episode. Firstly, you can tell it's on a Thursday, not a Friday like usual. That's because today's November 19th. 5 years ago today, one of my favorite people on earth passed away. My great uncle, Kenneth Spradling. Now, this man was a Vietnam vet, he was a motorcycle enthusiast, and he was just simply the nicest guy on earth. If you needed something done, he had your back, no matter if there was money involved or not. So, I got to thinking how to honor him. And then I remembered the one thing me and him had in common is our love for really shitty movies. Now, this is the man who brought home Wishmaster 3 from our local video store. Right there I can hear people cringing. That's how bad it was. But it was freaking awesome. We both loved it. And from then on, we discovered the SYFY Channel. Not the new one, the SYFY, but the original SYFY Channel. You people know what I'm talking about. The movies are amazing, and today we're going to talk about them because that's the one thing me and Kenny had in common. So for his 5th anniversary of his passing, join me on this bad CG, campy dialogue, the whole 9 yards. Let's do this. First of the day, we have Webs, a sci-fi original from the early 2000s that features an actor way too good to be in this movie. I really would like to see his contract on that one. Richard Grieco. Now, this man was in 21 Jump Street. He was in Mobsters. He was a former fashion model. This guy's freaking awesome. Now, in this film, he's part of a team of electricians who are sent to shut off power to this abandoned building before it's condemned. Now, what they uncover is a small mini nuke that is powering a teleporter. The dumbasses turn it on, they get sucked through, and end up in Chicago. This is really the plot. That has been overrun with spider people. The makeup of these spider people consists of long teeth, long fingers. That's it. And there's webs everywhere, but they don't shoot webs out their ass or anything. It's really weird. And basically, they have to team up with the survivors that are already there to reactivate the teleporter so they can all get the hell out of Dodge. But at the same time, they're being hunted by the spider people. And the Queen, who is surprisingly great looking when she's not CG. They actually have a giant practical animatronic that looks spectacular. And then they screwed up with really bad CG in a couple of scenes, including the ending where they hit her with electro rods to activate the teleporter and blow her up. God bless sci-fi. This movie's bonkers. It's a ton of fun. It's incredibly campy. The really funny black dude in it, I really don't know what his direction was, but every single scene he's supposed to react to something. It's a sight to behold. Check it out. Webs. Next up, we have Frankenfish by director Mark Tappé, the director of Spawn. Yeah, I can hear you cringing already. And stars Tori Kittles and China Chow, two surprisingly high-budgeted actors for this type of film. Now, the movie follows a poacher who has illegally brought snakehead fish, the ones that can walk on land, to Louisiana. The boat crashes. Somehow 2 of the fish have now grown to gigantic proportions and are eating people in the bayou. Original. Anyway, so now Tori Kittles, China Chow, and a bunch of other people are stranded on their houseboats while these 2 massive fish are picking them off one by one. The one thing you'll notice going into this movie is the CG is not bad. It is surprisingly good. Along with the acting is great. There's a couple of surprise deaths that even I was like, oh, damn. Now, the plot is dumb, as you can tell, but everything else is great. So definitely go out of your way, find this. If you can't find a copy of this movie, something's wrong with you. eBay's got it for like $3. Check it out, Frankenfish. Next up, we have SS Doomtrooper, which is the polar opposite of Frankenfish. The special effects are god-awful, the acting's questionable, but the story is great. It follows a bunch of criminals in World War II who are tasked with going behind enemy lines to stop a Nazi experiment. The experiment being this giant electricity-fueled monster with like a cannon arm, and he's virtually indestructible. It's freaking awesome. And the lead is played by Corin Nemec, who most of you nerds out there like myself will recognize as Stargate SG-1's Jonas Quinn. This movie's awesome, but like I said before, the acting is definitely campy, the CG is sci-fi. It makes perfect sense. It was like $1 million budget. Gotta love it. And yeah, that's really all there is to say about it. Check it out. Next up, we have Larva definitely the goriest sci-fi movie on this list. It's directed by Tim Cox, a sci-fi regular, and stars an entire cast of sci-fi regulars. No one of note. The film is great. The film basically follows like tapeworms who have been mutated by steroids that they're using in cow feed to produce, hardier cows. And because of this, now we've got a full-blown alien ripoff where the creatures are bursting out of people and eating everyone else. Again, this movie has a couple of surprise death scenes, like little kids are definitely on the menu. Bless you. And there is a surprise cameo by William Forsythe, the only actor of note in this entire film. As a douchebag, as always. I love him. This film is great. It's super gory, has a surprising amount of practical effects, and it has the usual sci-fi cliche ending where they have to blow everything up to kill the enemy. Gotta love that. Check it out, Larva. Last film of the day is the most recent one I've watched, and definitely the most hesitant because sci-fi's got kind of questionable recently. Baranaconda. The film in question is Werewolf Hunter, and is the film that me and Kenny watched while he was in the hospital having chemo treatments. The film is surprisingly good. It stars Felicia Day, who is acting her ass off in this movie, and she really shouldn't have. The CG kind of counterbalances that. Whew! It makes American Werewolf in Paris look good. Anyway, the film follows basically the bloodline of the Little Red Riding Hood to modern day, and she's the latest in the line. And they're trying to track down this lead werewolf who has basically made hunting humans a game, and how they have to stop him before it's too late. Now, this movie I watched with complete and utter disregard. Like, I was like, ooh, here we go. And by the end of it, I was pleasantly surprised with its more somber tone. And Kenny really loved it. He was laughing his ass off the whole time. This movie's spectacular. And it's definitely the one that I have to highly recommend for today, simply because of sentimentality reasons and because of how shockingly good it is. Check out Werewolf Hunter. Now that was my list of favorite sci-fi films. Are there any I missed? Any lists you'd like to see me do? Leave those in the comments below. As usual, if you like this video, please don't forget to subscribe for future content. I'm CJ, this has been Film Fetish, and please remember to keep it lowbrow.